Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And if you are joining us for the very first time today, I genuinely could not have chosen a better video for you to land on. Because what we are talking about right now is something that I have been waiting to say out loud for a very long time. Cadillac is bringing back the Eldorado. Let that sink in for a moment. The 2026 Cadillac Eldorado is coming back. One of the most glamorous, most breathtaking, most emotionally powerful nameplates in the entire history of the American automobile is making its return for 2026 and carrying beautifully right through into 2027. And the Wade is coming back dressed in stunning white with a gorgeous red interior that takes your breath away the moment you lay eyes on it. Is everything a true Cadillac lover could have ever dreamed of? So get comfortable everybody, because today we are going all the way in on the return of the most glamorous American car ever built. Now before we get into every incredible detail of what the 2026 Eldorado looks like and what it brings to the table, I think it is genuinely worth taking a moment to talk about what the Eldorado has always meant. Because this is not just a nameplate, this is a symbol. When Cadillac first introduced the Eldorado back in 1953 as a show car for the Motorama, the reaction from the public was unlike anything the automotive world had ever seen before. People were not just impressed, they were completely overwhelmed. The Eldorado represented the absolute pinnacle of American glamour and American ambition, at a time when those two things meant everything. It was the car of Hollywood royalty, the car of presidents, the car of people who had reached the very top and wanted a machine that could match that energy. And over the decades that followed, through every generation and every reinvention, the Eldorado always held on to that essential promise, that owning one meant you had arrived somewhere truly special. And now in 2026, that promise is being made all over again. Cadillac has approached this revival with a level of reverence and a level of ambition that the Eldorado name absolutely demands. They did not simply reach back into the archive and dust off an old design. They studied what made every great generation of the Eldorado great. They asked what the Eldorado should look like in 2026, what it should feel like to see one coming down the street, what it should feel like to sit inside one, what kind of statement it should make about the person who drives it. And then they built something that answers all of those questions in the most spectacular way possible. The result is a car that feels like the most natural continuation of the Eldorado story. A car that honors everything that came before it, while standing completely and powerfully on its own as a masterpiece of 2026 and 2027. And they have wrapped the whole thing in white and lined the inside with red. And the combination is simply one of the most stunning things the American automobile world has produced in living memory. So let's talk about that exterior, because the outside of the 2026 Cadillac Eldorado is where this entire story begins, and where it makes its most immediate and most powerful impression. The body of the new Eldorado is long and low and dramatic in a way that no other car on the road in 2026 can match. The proportions are sweeping and theatrical. A hood that stretches out ahead of you with real presence and real drama. A roofline that flows back in this beautiful, unbroken arc that manages to be both elegant and exciting at the same time. And the rear that tapers into one of the most visually satisfying conclusions of any car currently being produced anywhere in the world. This is a car that stops people in their tracks from every single angle. And the white finish over every inch of that sculpted bodywork turns each surface into something that catches light in the most extraordinary way as the car moves through the world. The white on this Eldorado is not just a finish, it is part of the design statement itself. The way it sits over those long, smooth body panels gives the car this almost otherworldly presence, like something that has arrived from a different era entirely and decided to stay. Every curve and every surface on the exterior of the 2026 Eldorado has clearly been designed with real intention and real passion. And the white makes every one of those details visible and dramatic in a way that simply demands attention. Long, uninterrupted body sides flow from the front wheel arch to the rear with this beautiful sense of movement and purpose. A subtle character line traces the middle of the body, giving the profile real visual depth and real sophistication. The overall silhouette is unmistakably Eldorado. That personal luxury coupe proportion that made the original so iconic, updated and refined into something that belongs completely in the modern world while honoring every inch of its heritage. The front end carries Cadillac's bold vertical lighting signature and commanding grille presence. But everything has been stretched and refined specifically for the Eldorado's more glamorous and more theatrical character. The chrome work across the front is generous and precise, not overdone, but present enough to announce clearly that this is a car of genuine significance and genuine luxury. The hood ornament detail, the bright work along the leading edges, the carefully sculpted bumper treatment, all of it together creates a front end that is immediately, unmistakably, unforgettably Cadillac Eldorado. And in white, it is simply jaw-dropping. The rear of the 2026 Eldorado deserves its own conversation entirely, because Cadillac has done something really special back there. The taillights carry a clear and loving reference to the fin-inspired designs of the classic Eldorado generations, elongated, elegant, and dramatic, integrated into a rear treatment that feels completely fresh while being deeply connected to the car's most celebrated visual moments. The trunk line is long and graceful, the rear bumper is clean and purposeful, and the overall impression from behind is of a car that is just as exciting walking away from it as it is walking toward it. In white, the rear of this car under any kind of light, sunlight, street light, the glow of a hotel entrance, is simply one of the most beautiful things you will ever see on four wheels. Now let's step inside, and this is the moment that I have genuinely been most excited about, because the interior of the 2026 Cadillac Eldorado is where the combination of white exterior and red interior creates something that I can only describe as absolutely unforgettable. The moment you open that door, and the door swings open with this wonderful, long, sweeping motion that already feels like a performance in itself, you are met with an interior that is simply breathtaking. Full red leather across every seat surface, every door panel, every cushioned element of the cabin. Rich, deep, perfectly stitched red leather that fills the entire interior with this incredible sense of warmth and drama and occasion against the white exterior. Stepping into this red interior is one of those automotive experiences that you never forget. It is theatrical in the most wonderful way. It is glamorous in the most authentic way. It is everything the Eldorado has always been, and everything it should be in 2026. The dashboard is clean and sweeping in its design, taking clear inspiration from the classic Eldorado interiors of the most celebrated generations, while feeling completely right for the modern era. The layout is horizontal and elegant, with a deep padded top rail finished in matching leather and chrome accent details that run across the full width of the dashboard, giving the interior this wonderful sense of width and luxury. The instrument cluster is beautifully housed in a classic binnacle design that feels connected to the Eldorado's personal luxury heritage, without being retro or costume-like in its execution. Everything inside this car feels considered and crafted and genuinely special in a way that justifies every dollar of the price tag. The seats are exceptional, wide and deeply cushioned in that classic American luxury tradition, upholstered in the most beautiful red leather you have seen inside a car, with precise white contrast stitching that ties the interior palette together in the most elegant way imaginable. The driving position is low and comfortable, putting you perfectly in command of that long white hood stretching out ahead of you. And the feeling of sitting in the driver's seat of the 2026 Eldorado, surrounded by red leather, looking out over white bodywork, with the whole world seeming to arrange itself around you, is one that genuinely cannot be replicated by any other car at any price point. This is the Eldorado experience. This is what it has always been about, and Cadillac has delivered it in its most complete and most beautiful form. The rear seat area of the 2026 Eldorado is generous and beautifully appointed, with the same stunning red leather throughout, and the same sense of occasion and luxury that defines every other element of the cabin. This is a personal luxury coupe in the great tradition of the nameplate, and the rear accommodations reflect that tradition perfectly. Comfortable and beautifully presented for two passengers who want to travel in genuine style and genuine comfort. The overall ride character of the 2026 Eldorado is expected to be everything a car with this name and this presence should deliver. Smooth, quiet, effortlessly composed, and utterly serene. This is a car built for grand touring in the most literal and most romantic sense of the phrase. Long journeys taken in complete comfort and complete style, arriving at every destination feeling as fresh and as composed as when you departed. The suspension tuning prioritizes ride quality and refinement above everything else, and the result is expected to be one of the most comfortable and most enjoyable driving experiences of any car in 2026. Now let's talk pricing. Because the 2026 Cadillac Eldorado is positioned as a genuine flagship personal luxury product, and the pricing reflects that status with complete confidence. inchy configurations are expected to start in the range of $95,000 to $110,000, with fully optioned models, particularly those with the complete white and red heritage specification, expected to push toward $150,000 and potentially beyond, depending on the level of personalization. And when you sit inside this car, when you experience what Cadillac has created here, when you understand the combination of design and craftsmanship and heritage and sheer glamour that they have packaged into every inch of the 2026 Eldorado, that pricing does not just feel justified. It feels like one of the great automotive values of the modern era. Production is expected to begin in late 2025, with first customer deliveries rolling out through 2026 and continuing strong through 2027. Demand is expected to be extraordinary and immediate, because the Eldorado in white with a red interior is not just a car, it is a statement. It is a piece of American cultural history returning in its most spectacular form. And for those lucky enough to get one, it is going to be one of the most special automotive experiences of their lives. The Eldorado is back. It is white, it is red inside, and it is more glamorous, more beautiful, and more Cadillac than anything that has worn this badge in decades. What an incredible moment to be alive, and what an incredible time to love American cars. So what do you all think about the return of the 2026 Cadillac Eldorado in white with that stunning red interior? Drop everything you are thinking in the comments right now. I read every single one. Give this video a thumbs up if it excited you, because it helps the channel more than you know. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single video as we follow the Eldorado all the way to launch day and beyond. I will see you in the next one. Everybody, take care.